Hi everyone, it's Christian. In previous videos, I talked about the suite of tools that together make a pairLab experiment. The first was survey configuration, and the second was check data. In this video, I'll talk about the third tool in an experiment, and that's the best part, it's the results. This is actually the first of 4 videos on results, and it's called Results Summary. Results Summary gives you a stats-based overview of your survey's health. This is especially important when your survey is active because you will want to know such things as how many people have taken it, when the most recent vote was cast, how your segments are shaping up, and more. And by the way, in the results videos, I'm going to use results from experiments that I've run that were not the ice cream demo survey as I've done with other videos. And I think the examples that I'm now going to show will give you a better picture of what pairLab does in terms of results because it's real data that I collected in the work that I do. All right, so let's start with survey performance on the left. And this is a simple table of stats. So what do we have here? Total active ideas is the number of ideas available to challenges. This number is the same as the one you'll see in active ideas to test on the survey configuration page. Active suggested ideas is the number of suggested ideas that you approved. And this is a subset of total active ideas. Participants reflects the number of people who voted. Idea combinations are the number of idea pairs that are being tested. Then come challenge responses, which reflect the number of times participants voted. Now, these two stats are good health indicators because you will want more challenge responses than you have idea combinations. In the experiments that I run, I find that I get a lot of votes, and you can see here that the votes I received are 8.5 times the number of idea combinations that are available. Now, pairLab chooses voting pairs in a way that surfaces all pairs evenly over time. Keep this in mind when you add suggested ideas back into your survey. pairLab will push them to the front of the line, but it's important to be sure that you still have enough people voting so those new ideas receive the votes that they need. Now, moving on, we have latest response, and this is the time since the last vote was cast. This helps you see if your participants stopped voting. Why is that important? Well, maybe you'll find that you need more participants if the number of challenge responses is too low, and it can also indicate that it's time to close your survey. And finally, we have the average, minimum, and maximum responses per participant. Now, moving on to the right, we have the segment snapshot. And these graphs show how participants fit into each segment. Here I have one segment, and if you have more, they'll show up below. And this segment comes from an experiment that I ran that looked for the features in Google search that my participants want to see improved. The segment question is, how well does Google search work for you? And the values are, it works great for me, I don't love it, but it works well enough, and it does not work well for me. We'll see in upcoming videos that we can show results for each of these segments. These graphs have some interactivity, and you can hover over each part of the pie to see its value. One way to use segments is to determine if you've recruited enough participants. Let's say your segment asks about gender and you know what the split should be. If you see here that one gender is much larger than what you expect, then you know you have to recruit more participants of another gender. However, even if segments are out of balance, your results are still useful because pairLab can show results for each segment and it can compare the results between two segments. If you're low on some kind of participant, well, that's okay because it'll only affect the aggregate results, which we'll see in the next video. And that's a look at the results summary.